Congratulations, you've been handpicked for the most prestigious internship in the solar system. The benefits? You aren't dead yet. The pay? A slightly reduced prison sentence. The boss? A giant, floating, passive-aggressive AI head named Island who has already decided your Earth name is too boring and renamed you Fox. Island tells you you're gifted because you have the mark of Luna, which is usually a sign of a severe allergy, but here, it means you're chosen for important work. She's lost most of her previous scouts to perishing, but don't worry, she's sure you're different. Rise and shine, inmate, or should I say, Fox. That's your new name, chosen personally by Island, your giant, floating, and slightly condescending AI warden. She's eternally sorry about the scouts she's lost before you, but she's sure those beautiful red eyes of yours, the mark of Luna, make you special. In the real world, red eyes mean you need an antihistamine. In the abyss, it means you're officially gifted enough to do the dirty work. You aren't even using your own body. You're remotely piloting a warden, which is basically a living machine, meat puppet. And look at that, you found your first toy, the Scout Rifle, or Strike Rifle if Island's feeling fancy. It's a precision instrument designed for whittling down health, which is gamer speak for tickling the enemy until they get annoyed. Island warns you to strike carefully. There are drift nearby souls that have been consumed by the scourge. They used to be human, but now they're just pure horror and very interested in your internal organs. Oh, and one more thing. Island oops and forgot to mention the Mother Eyes network that's currently tracking your every move. But hey, no pressure. You're on the clock and that prison sentence isn't going to reduce itself. It's the ultimate work-from-home experience. Your squishy human bits stay safe in a cell, while your robot brain gets sent into a hole full of cosmic horrors. Welcome to the Canyon District. Specifically, you've been dropped at entry 543, The Last Stand. Nothing says welcome to the team, like a level name that implies you're about to be the last thing standing. Ah, the Abyss's version of a road closed sign. It's red, it's glowing, and it looks like something you'd find in a high-tech haunted house. In any other career, this would be a job for a hazard removal team. For you, it's just target practice. Boom, congratulations. You've officially passed the Are You a Video Game Protagonist test. These red roadblocks are essentially the Abyss's way of checking if you're actually holding the controller or just a very convincing mannequin. A word of advice, though, try not to be standing in the splash zone when it goes off. Island is eternally sorry about the previous scouts she lost to unnecessary proximity to high explosives, and she really doesn't want to have to rename another synthetic meat puppet today. Just remember, if it's red, glowing, and in your way, shoot it. It's the ultimate stress relief, provided you don't accidentally turn yourself into a collection of synthetic spare parts in the process. Keep an eye on that heat meter, though. You don't want your gun to go on strike right when the scenery starts exploding back at you. Oh, look, a souvenir from one of your predecessors. Let's see how Scout 321, codenamed Churchill, spent his final moments. Spoiler alert, it wasn't with a retirement party and a gold watch. Churchill here was having a bit of a Monday morning meltdown. He's terrified because he was thrown into the abyss without a weapon, which is basically like being sent to a gunfight armed with nothing but a world's best scout, Mug. He's screaming about the adrift and asking what the scourge is. Well, buddy, since you're currently part of the architecture, let me explain. The scourge is a planet-sized infection that turns normal people into the adrift, which is just a fancy corporate term for screaming cosmic horrors who want to turn your internal organs into external ones.
I am eternally sorry about Churchill. He was a bit of a drama queen, but look at you, Fox, you found a gun. You're already 100% more competent than the last guy.
Churchill's final words were a frantic promise to do as he's told, just to be taken back to his cell. Unfortunately for him, the only way out of the abyss is forward, or, in his case, becoming a permanent resident of the perished list. Take notes, Fox. This is what happens when you let the All-Father handle your career counseling. If you don't want to end up as entry 544, I suggest you stop reading Churchill's fanfiction and start shooting anything that glows purple. The blue glowing crystal. Island says this is where we reduce our prison sentence by mining resources, while safely piloting a remote-controlled mechanical body called a warden. Which brings us to the logistics. Welcome to the infinite supply of bodies. A warden gets vaporized. A brand new one appears from the crystal, Our consciousness is backed up, and an infinite fabrication queue keeps the operation running. You know how some companies have a Ring doorbell to keep an eye on the porch? Well, the Abyss has the Mother Eyes network. It's basically the same thing, except instead of catching a package thief, it's designed to alert every nightmare in the vicinity that a synthetic meat puppet has entered the building.
Oops, I probably should have warned you about the Mother Eyes network. Silly me.
Thanks, Island. It's heartening to know my survival depends on an AI whose involves a planet-wide security system currently triangulating my exact coordinates.
Mother, there's an intruder. Death to the intruder, death to you.
Meet the neighbors. These are the Adrift. They used to be the founders, human colonists who came here looking for resources and stayed for the eternal psychic corruption. Island warns you not to be deceived by their human form, which is easy to follow since most of them are currently screaming about your imminent demise. The searchlight is red, your rifle is hot, and the locals are officially hostile. Time to show the Mother Eye why Fox was such a resourceful name choice. Oh look, it's the Bloody Bones, or as Island probably calls them, displaced personnel with aggressive tendencies. These things happen when the Scourge decides having a skeleton is too mainstream and turns the human form into a floating orb of pure horror. Don't let the lack of legs fool you. They love firing tracking spheres, purple homing orbs that follow you like an obsessed ex. You can't just strafe away. You need to wait until the last second and dash to break their tracking. Remember, the dash gives you 0.4 seconds of invincibility. Mess up the timing, and they'll turn you into a synthetic meat puppet that's way more meat than puppet. Strike carefully, Fox. These things are a friendly reminder that in the Abyss, the founders didn't just lose their minds, they lost their structural integrity too. Let's talk about the first execution health region move next. It flows perfectly after mentioning what happens if the player gets turned into a meat puppet and sets up the core gameplay loop of staying alive through aggressive play. Ready when you are. In Lunar Abyss, you aren't stuck with one flavor of misery. The game offers 4 difficulty levels, ranging from a scenic stroll through a concrete nightmare to immediately disintegrated by a rogue cube. Hardcore masochists recommend the highest setting, but be warned, some attacks can one-shot you from full health if you dodge into the wrong pile of glowing orbs. If you're struggling, adaptive difficulty kicks in during boss fights. Die enough times and the game adds help mechanics. It's essentially the Abyss saying, "Oh, you poor, sweet, incompetent child. Let me make this easier before you break your controller." Good news, difficulty doesn't gatekeep the lore or endings. You can uncover every dark secret on the easiest setting. The catch: higher difficulties increase the drop rate of Lunite, the currency needed for purification shrines to get the true ending. If you want to be rich while being miserable, crank it up. Doom or Returnal veterans might find standard settings trivially easy. The game features an auto-aim mechanic that handles a lot of the heavy lifting. For elite aim gods, it might feel like training wheels, but for the rest of us, it's the only reason we haven't been recycled into the moon's biomass yet. And just when you thought you were having a bad day, you run into this guy. Look at him. He's thin enough to dodge bullets by simply turning sideways, yet he's carrying a backpack the size of a studio apartment. This is the Abyss's version of a delivery driver. No health insurance, no tips, and the package he's carrying is probably a collection of rusted drift technology or a bag full of biomass for the moon's lunch.
Ah, Harvester, how industrious. He's helping to process organic matter for the collective. It's very green of him, don't you think, Fox?
There isn't much salvage left here, you know. All the useful technology was taken a long time ago.
Are you a prisoner?
No. I am a relic of different times. I envy you surface dwellers. These depths grow stifling after a while. I can't recall when I last saw moonlight.
How long have you been down here?
We create time where none exists. It has no material meaning, no worth with which to measure. Everything that is exists only as the sum total of what was and what is yet to come. As the snake swallows its own tail, so time swallows itself. Do you see?
I'm not sure I do.
Nothing in life is irrefutable. Perhaps you will reach a different conclusion. But please tell me, what brings you to these decaying halls?
I'm looking for a piece of technology. Something called a shield breaker.
Ah, I see. So the automated detection system is still in working order. I use an old workshop not far from here. I think what remains of your shield breaker can be found there. Follow the path through this tower and cross the pipes that grow.
Thank you.
Take care, young scout.
The new objective, the shield breaker hunt.
The Old Father has made a request. A rare piece of drift technology has been detected. An excavation tool known as the Shield. We need you to retrieve it for study.
And there it is, the real reason we're here. We aren't here for the scenery or the sparkling conversation with the harvesters. The Old Father, the central brain of this whole parasitic moon, wants a new toy. Specifically, an excavation tool called the Shield Breaker. Eileen S. adding the location to your objective system now. She calls it an excavation tool. But let's be real. Around here, excavation usually involves blowing holes in things that are trying to eat you. Watch your step, Fox. Eileen warns that there are adrift nearby, souls consumed by the scourge that rots this place. They might still look humanish, but they're actually just pure horror, waiting to welcome you to the neighborhood. Time to get moving. The Old Father isn't known for his patience, and that shield breaker isn't going to retrieve itself. The architecture of existential dread. If you're a fan of Soviet constructivist brutalism, or you just really like the color gray, the Abyss is your dream vacation home. The developers describe it as a brutalist alien megastructure, but to you, it probably looks like a high-stakes parking garage designed by a god with a concrete fetish. It's designed to make you feel like a small cog in a large machine, which is accurate, because in the grand scheme of the moon's lunch, you're basically a garnish. The Abyss is what architects call a liminal space, which is a fancy way of saying it's very weird and nothing makes sense. What looks like the floor might actually be the ceiling, and you'll often find human architecture shoved into spaces where it definitely doesn't belong. It's about 60% platforming and 40% shooting, so I hope you didn't skip leg day in your synthetic meat puppet body. Keep an eye out for misaligned geometry. If a wall looks like it was put together by someone who forgot their measuring tape, hit it. It's probably a false wall hiding a permanent stamina boost or a weapon mod. If you start hearing abyssal whispers, a low resonant sound, it means an upgrade is nearby. Or you're finally losing your mind. In this moon, it's usually both.
You're handy with a rifle, aren't you?
Your records say he grew up in New London. A sinful place, according to the All-Father. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
It looks like Churchill wasn't the only scout who left a one-star review of their time in the abyss. Meet Cherries of Exeter. Unlike Churchill, who spent his last moments screaming, Cherries decided to spend his getting all philosophical and deep. Who is Mother? Cherries asks. Is she a strange and vengeful deity? Listen, Cherries, I hate to break it to you, but when you're being hunted by a planetary parasite, you don't really have time to wonder about your family tree.
It's none of your business.
Constructs like us don't have moms. We have fabrication queues and infinite body printers. We aren't born, we're just control-P'd into existence. Cherries calls this thing a deity. But as you can see, the Mother Eye network is less divine mother and more high-tech stalker. Cherries says, I hope I never meet her. Well, spoiler alert, Cherries. The Mother Eye has been staring at your backside since you stepped off the elevator.
Oh, Cherries, such a vivid imagination. He always was a bit of a poet. I'm sure you'll be much more practical, Fox.
Practical? That's AI speak for please stop reading the dead guy's diary and start shooting the things that want to integrate you into the biomass. Cherries was right about one thing, though. The frenzy is real. Whether it's a vengeful goddess or just a very glitchy security system, the result is the same. Stay in the red light too long, and you'll be meeting Mother a lot sooner than you planned. Congratulations, Fox. You finally found the old father's favorite excavation tool, the shield breaker. While the name makes it sound like something you used to fix a lunar plumbing issue, it's actually a cybernetic shotgun designed for one very specific purpose, making sure blue shields don't ruin your afternoon. See those annoying blue energy shields protecting the doors and the bigger enemies? Your scout rifle is about as effective against them as a wet noodle. The shield breaker, however, treats those shields like a polite suggestion rather than a rule. One or two well-placed blasts and pop. The shield is gone, leaving the enemy exposed and questioning their life choices. But don't get too trigger-happy. This thing operates on a heat system and locks up faster than a budget PC trying to run this game without DLSS. The pro strategy here is simple. Fire a couple of shots to crack the shield, then immediately swap back to your scout rifle to finish the job while the shotgun vents steam. Island calls this fluidly moving between your arsenal. We just call it not wanting to be stuck holding a very expensive glowing paperweight while 5,000 geometric projectiles fly at our face. And there it is, the sound of your social security number being pulled out of a hat in the galaxy's most depressing raffle. The All-Father has detected an anomalous signal in the Canyon District, and he's looking for a volunteer. Selection begins, it says, as if there's a massive pool of qualified candidates and not just a bunch of red-eyed prisoners wondering if today is the day they get turned into abyssal wallpaper. Congratulations, Fox. You've been selected, which is the All-Father's way of saying you're the most expendable piece of hardware currently available.
Fox, we'll have to look at disconnecting you later. I've synchronized the origin location to your objective system, so you should be able to follow where that sound is coming from. Looks like that
A door
shield breaker
protected by an
makes
advanced
more
energy
use than I
shield.
thought.
A relic of impossible technology. A barrier designed to keep intruders out. Yes, no problem. Just blast it with the shield breaker. The All-Father's servants spent centuries building impenetrable defenses. You spent 5 seconds finding a shotgun specifically designed to ignore them. Turns out the solution to ancient cosmic security systems is the same solution to most problems in Lunar Abyss. More guns, or a shorter version. Oh look, it's a disco ball made of pure malice. If you thought the bloody bones were annoying, meet the blessed celebrant. He's a stronger variant of the first boss you fought, but he's upgraded his look with a blue energy shield and a bullet pattern that looks like a geometric math problem gone horribly wrong. Those spiral patterns aren't just for show. They are geometric and layered, designed to restrict your movement and funnel you into a concrete-flavored early retirement. Standing still here isn't just a mistake. It's a lifestyle choice that ends in immediate disintegration. You need to read the negative space between the orbs and plot a path 3 moves ahead, or you'll find out exactly why the previous scouts are now part of the Wall Daker. And of course, he has a shield, because apparently dodging 500 plasma meatballs wasn't challenging enough for you. This is why you went on that resourceful hunt for the shield breaker. This cybernetic shotgun treats blue shields as a polite suggestion, rather than a rule. 2 blasts to crack the bubble, then immediately swap back to your scout rifle to finish the job before your shotgun overheats and turns into a very expensive paperweight. Oh boy, strap in, Fox. We found another one, and this one isn't just a Monday morning meltdown like Churchill. Meet Alara, the winner of the Worst Parent in the Galaxy award. Alara here decided to ghost her husband and kids because she heard a call from the moon. She calls leaving her family an act of mercy, which is a very poetic way of saying she went to buy space milk and never came back. She was hungry for revelation, convinced that she was born for the sole purpose of answering a message from a giant, glowing eyeball in her dreams.
Ilara was such a devoted student, she understood that no flesh or blood could be half as sacred as the All-Father's message. It's a shame she had such a dramatic realization at the end.
Sacred, right? Alara and her friends spent their time scurrying around these dark and stinking halls like fervent little insects on their hands and knees, desperate to be the first to see the eye open wide. And guess what? The eye did open. The punchline, her final words, "Oh love, we were wrong, we were wrong." You think, Alara? It turns out the hallowed message humanity crossed the stars for wasn't a secret of the universe. It was just a dinner bell. You aren't the one who answers, you're the one who gets integrated. Take it from Alara, Fox. If you start seeing giant eyes in your dreams and feel a breathless certainty about your destiny, it's probably just the scourge rot taking hold of your brain. Keep your rifle ready and your family photos in your pocket, because the only revelation waiting at the bottom of this hole is a very hungry planetary parasite.